Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hey, honey, come here.
Yes, dear.
So I was flipping through this magazine that I bought at the check stand today at the grocery store.
Uh-huh.
And it's got this really cool quiz in it. Question.
No, not again.
But it's just...
No, not again. I refuse.
Why? It's just a quiz.
Uh-huh.
Like a little test.
You're testing me, see?
Well, yeah, but it's this... What is your problem with tests?
It's not so much that I have a problem with tests. I have a problem with women, not you, but women in general, who have this incessant need to always be testing their husbands or spouses.
Oh, you mean like when we put on a new outfit and then we ask you if it makes our butt look big?
Kinda. I've also seen tests where they'll say things like, I would like an orange. And then they won't peel the orange. They wait to see if you will peel the orange for them. That's shenanigans, and I don't like shenanigans.
That is shenanigans, because if somebody asked me for an orange, I would expect them to say if they wanted it peeled or not, if I didn't think to ask them if they want it peeled or not.
Well, it's not even if the peeling or not. It's just, they just say, I'm thinking about having an orange. And that's supposed to put it into our minds that, oh, my wife asked for an orange. I should go get one and peel one for her. Whereas she could just come out and say, honey, would you mind getting me an orange?
Oh, like when I ask you to get me something from the kitchen.
Right. I don't mind that because it's clear. It's concise communication. Whereas I don't have to guess as to what you mean. Like, I'm thinking I want something. I don't know what. And I'm supposed to be able to figure out what it is you want.
Yeah, but when
any context clues from you.
Yeah, but anytime. Sorry.
You're testing.
I'm not testing you. I'm just interrupting you. Oh. There's a difference. So, but wait a minute. There's been times when you've asked if I wanted anything from the kitchen, and I told you yes, but I don't know what. But then you've given me ideas like, do you want this? Do you want that?
Right. See, again, that's clear, open communication. Do you want a drink? Do you want something to snack on? Do you want dinner? Would you like me to cook something? I'm helping you along, and you're answering this rather than just, like women that will snatch their husband's phone and then run into the next room.
Oh, like they do on that radio program that I listen to certain days of the week. Mm-hmm. I don't want to promote that show, which is why I'm not telling you all the name of the show. But, oh, that's right. That thing was full of tests. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's not cool. You should never. Wait a minute. Now, why are we just accusing the women of testing the men? What about when the men test the women?
I'm all for equality on this show. If you can give me some examples, I will say, okay, fine. None come to mind because I can't say none, but the majority of the reels I watch on Facebook and other places, on Instagram and wherever, it seems to be mostly concentrated in the women's camp. Now, I'm not saying that at no time in history has there been any of this in the men's camp, but it seems to be more concentrated in your genetic area as opposed to ours.
In my genetic area.
That's not the right word.
No, that's not the right word. Please stand by. What the heck are you doing? We now return you to our regularly scheduled squabble of sorts.
Not genetic. Your gender. Your.
Oh, don't start with this gender area business. Just say it. It's concentrated mainly on women. Oh, great! Now I just dissed my whole gender.
See?
Thanks a lot. I'm gonna get so many complaint calls now.
Hey, That means male.
What are you doing over there?
I'm contacting our research.
No, I'm the research department. Give me that. Give me. See, he's testing me. Okay, well, while he's taking over my job duties, I get what he's saying. So there have been times that women have done these little tests to see how well their man knows them, or how willing they are to do things for them, or they're just supposed to know what we want. When, to be perfectly honest, there are times when we don't know what we want. Hence things like putting on a new outfit and then asking if it makes our butt look big, because we don't know if it makes our butt look big. Well, actually, we probably do, but we want a second opinion. And sometimes a third, fourth, and fifth opinion. Before any of our listeners question that, I don't mean we go around asking strange men.
That's good. You should not ask strange men. Nor should a system of government be based upon strange women lying around in ponds handing out swords.
I truly have no idea what he was just talking about. If anyone can help me, please email us. What on earth are you talking about?
That's a quote from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I know. Shocking. Another movie you have. Oh. Here's a relationship test for you.
Now we're going off track. Pardon me just a minute. Don't you mention it. Don't. We're going to get emails.
Now I have to.
No, you don't.
It's out
You
there.
don't. It's not out there. Look, I'm sweeping it all away. Drink your coffee. I'm sweeping it all away. See, and gone.
Earlier today.
Oh, no.
While she was getting ready for us to go out, something to do errands, I did my best impression of the gopher dance from Caddyshack, a movie beloved by all who have seen it. A movie that's been around 40 years, 50 years, I don't know. It's been around a long time. Anyway, I asked my dear partner, I said, how do you think I did? She said, I don't know what movie that's from. Bad enough, she said that. And I said, you've never seen Caddyshack? And she had the audacity, the nerve, if you will, to say no, she has not seen Caddyshack. There was another, what was the other one you hadn't seen?
I also haven't seen Stripes. And
I don't know. What do you think, people?
Oh, what was that one? I thought you were talking about Back to the Future, and you were talking about Wait, I saw Back to School. Okay, then.
I said you said back.
So basically, we're starting to generate this list of movies that apparently I've never seen. And then I get wait, were you testing me about those?
No, I was not. No. You and I are firmly established and ensconced in this relationship. And there's never...
Ensconced, if you're ever playing Scrabble, that should get you a lot of points.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was coughing. There's never been reasons for us to test one another. I've never felt the need to try to be sneaky about anything or to set up a scenario to see how you're going to react. Now, our research department has come across a website called marriage.com, and they have a list of ways to tell if she's testing you. One example is when you go out on the first date, she asks you to split the bill. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it should be established ahead of time that, we're going to go out. If I ask you out, I expect to pay for the bill. I expect to pay the bill. If she asks the person out, I believe whoever is doing the asking out is responsible for paying for the askee's dinner. But women will test you and say, well, I thought you would pay, even though I offered to pay. And I said, sure, no problem. And I told you in a million different ways that this is not an issue. I don't mind paying. And then she gets mad at you because you didn't offer to pay, or you didn't knock the credit card out of her hand and insist on paying. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, if someone asks someone else out to dinner, and I mean, my way of thinking is, I don't know how I feel about this. So there have been times when I've asked if you wanted to go to dinner, and sometimes you've paid and sometimes I've paid.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of any time that I went to dinner with someone. Well, I mean, there's times when I've gone out with a group and we've all talked about dividing the bill, and that never seems to work out well.
No.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever done this to a guy.
No, that's another test where a woman will want to go out to a friend's birthday party. Now there's like 10 or 15 or 20 people there, and she's out with one of her male friends, not a boyfriend, not someone she's romantically involved with. And when it comes time to pay the bill, she'll suddenly say, well, it's the birthday girl's dinner. We should all chip in and pay for it. Even though this
I saw a Facebook reel on that.
Even though this dude has no idea who this girl is, the bill for these 10 people is like $350 because they're all having bougie drinks and bougie appetizers, and they're ordering everything from the left side of the menu. And then she gets mad, and it's a long silent ride home in the car because he didn't volunteer, or he didn't willingly and happily pay for her dinner, which I think is ridiculous.
Well, that's just messed up.
And they do that with all sorts of things. And I'm not, again, you pointed out very correctly that I'm talking about women because that's primarily what we see. I'm not saying that men don't do the testing game, because they do. I know they do. But she grabbed my research.
So
she's scrolling.
While he's having a chat with y'all. I don't know where that accent came from.
She's from Southern California, y'all.
What is wrong with being from Southern California?
Absolutely nothing. I love it here. If we could cut off like everything north of LA, I'd be happy, but that's not going to happen. We have a governor here. Yeah, we just don't.
Oh, no. We're not getting political, okay?
No, not at all. Sorry.
All right.
Mea culpa, if you will.
Okay. So our research department...
In all fairness, as we are nothing if not fair here at Coffees and Cuddles, she has found examples of when men are testing women.
So, ladies, has this ever happened to you? Your husband, your boyfriend, your partner, Paramore. You mean the band?
No.
There's a band called Paramore. Now we're getting off topic again. We're driving along the highway and off we go.
And she saw a roadside stand we had to pull in.
No, I saw something shiny.
Nothing different.
Okay. So great. Next time we see a shiny roadside stand, you're not going to stop. So back to what I was talking about. So your husband, your fiance, your boyfriend says he's going to call you later before bed. So you wait up, and let's say you wait up 30, 45, an hour, but the phone never rings. That's a moment where you can tell if you are being tested by your man.
Yeah, I don't see that. That's all that playing games and being trifling, and I don't understand the need for it. If you want to be with somebody, then you're with them. If you don't want to be with somebody, then don't be. But don't come with conditions and causes and.
Well, now hold on. I'm not giving me that. Hold on. Before
our budget only provides for one research.
No, because one's over there.
Equipment.
So before any of our male listeners say that I'm being unfair, it's true. There's always a logical explanation why he didn't call. He might have been watching the game. He might have fallen asleep while watching TV. He could have gotten busy. He could have had to go deal with a family emergency,
He could have fallen in a roadside ditch.
And he could have, quite honestly forgotten. I mean, it's happened to me a few times. See, every day when I'm at work, I always try to make sure that I call him while I'm on my lunch. And there have been times when I've looked at the clock and realized I've got 2 minutes left on my break, and my mind just went off in 50 million directions, and I've simply not watched my time and have forgotten to call.
See, to me, that's not you testing me. That's
no, that was me having a moment.
That's you having teacher brain, and I am perfectly okay with that.
And then there was the time that I literally forgot my phone. I was thinking 5 million other things, and I didn't have the phone. And no, I wasn't testing him to see what he'd do if I didn't call. I just really didn't want to walk back to my classroom and get my phone. I just wanted a break. Not from you.
There were times in the morning when you didn't call me right away, because I'm used to you being in the car for 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, long enough to get out of our neighborhood and on your way to work, and then you'll call me. And there were times when it got later and later, and that's when I started the joking thing about how's Ryan, because she listens to Ryan Seacrest.
No, we're not trying to promote that.
No, we're not. I know we're not, but and it got to the point where I realized that this is what you're doing. You're listening to his show first, and I'm like, cool. So I started teasing you with how's Ryan doing, and that has become our thing.
Because I always have an answer to that question based on whatever.
I don't think I've ever tested you, have I? I can't think any time I maliciously or willfully tested you in some way.
Well, I mean, jokingly, like things like, okay, when's my birthday? Or, no, honestly, I can't think of any time
the thing with the already done that we do, to me, that's not testing you. I just I like waiting to see what you forgot to do that day. So I can say, already done. And that's to me, that's a love language. If something needs to be done, I do it.
I have to explain this because we know people are going, what are they talking about? So before my dear one here, before he moved to Southern California, I would have like tons of stuff I would have to do when I got home. And some days it just wouldn't get done because I didn't have time, or I was too tired, or forgot, or whatever it might be. So, and I don't even know how this got started, but I'd be coming home and I'd be thinking, oh my God, I got to get the laundry started. And I'd walk in and I'd start to say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired and I've got to get the laundry in the machine. And he'd get this big grin on his face and he'd go, already done.
That started because I was home and there was nothing going on in the day. And I looked in the bathroom and I saw the clothes in a hamper. I said, you know what? I got time. I'll throw these in the washer for, not like, oh my God, look at me. Look at what I did for you. It's never been about what I'm doing for you. It's been about my partner needs help and I'm going to do it without being asked to do it.
And it's always very much appreciated, by the way.
That's another thing that I've noticed is women will complain that their men don't do things without being asked, or without being told, or without being harangued about it. There's another word for you, harangued. If you had that word, congratulations, you won.
I feel like now our listeners need this like bingo card. Yeah, I got that word.
For the low price of $19.95, we'll rush you your own scorecard.
Now, what are you going to do if somebody actually sends us that amount of money?
I'm going to go and look online and find a scorecard.
Please don't send money. Please don't do that.
Surprise, you only need 15 million points.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you testing our listeners now? I don't know. No, some of them are probably feeling like they're being tested.
Testing our listeners would be, can you tell me what I said in the first half of episode 3? That would be a test.
That'd be rude.
It would be rude.
It would be.
I am not rude. My mother did not raise a rude child.
That's right. Now, what was our original topic? Oh, yeah. We were talking about testing our partners. Hey!
Number 3 is a big pet peeve of mine.
Oh, okay.
Coming from the other way.
Okay, ladies, has this ever happened to you? Your partner, your fiance, your boyfriend, your husband goes around and tells everybody your business. And it could be that he is sharing too much, say on social media or whatever it might be, but it could be a test. You might have to decide, is that okay for him to do? Now, according to our research department, yeah, it came up as a test, but I don't know if that's a test or him just not thinking, whether, that one's, I don't think that's testing. I think that's more of, is he sharing? Is he oversharing? I don't think that's a test. I guess what you're talking about when you say testing is trying to find out, how much does he truly love me? Like, if I do A, will this be his response? And if it is his response, then he truly loves me. But if he doesn't do it, oh boy, is he in trouble. I think the perfect example of somebody who was constantly testing their better half was Lucy.
Oh, okay.
I Love Lucy. You can watch any I Love Lucy episode, and I guarantee you in almost every episode, she was testing Ricky to see what he would be willing to do for her. And sometimes he got tricked into it or finagled into it. And sometimes he just didn't realize it was happening and she'd get what she wanted.
The one the other day you watched about their anniversary. Rather than see if he would notice or anything or bring it up herself.
Oh,
she circled days on the calendar and she did all these things. She had something from their first meal together as a breakfast or whatever. See, that's an example of what I'm talking about is why can't you just come out and be open and honest and forthright and all these things?
Because that wasn't her way. Okay, so
that doesn't seem to be a lot of women's ways.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever watched I Love Lucy, but if you want to see a classic example of women testing men, that's the show. And sometimes Ethel would test Fred, but I don't think it was Ethel's idea. I honestly think Lucy talked her into it. So the one that he's referencing, she had circled their anniversary on the calendar. She left her wedding ring by his plate. She cooked rice because back then you threw rice at the couple who had just gotten married. So she cooked rice to see if it would remind him of when they got married. And what it reminded him of was what he used to eat as a child in Cuba for breakfast. She even went so far as to put a kitchen towel on her head, pull out a bunch of carrots, and walk towards him going, da 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 da. That wouldn't have reminded me about a wedding. I would have thought you were looking for a horse to feed carrots to.
Well, I would have thought it was time for you to check your meds or something. I don't know.
It's time to call the doctor, definitely.
Looking for people with butterfly nets.
But yeah, that's totally a woman testing her man. And that just, it shouldn't go either way. Women shouldn't test their men and men shouldn't test their women.
No, if you have a solid relationship, and there are women that will take a solid, good relationship and then get it in her head that, well, things are going along too well. So obviously this doesn't work for me and I have to mess things up on this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're causing drama and you're causing all these issues that didn't exist before because you got it in your head that, well, my girlfriend did this or this person did this, so I must do it too. And I'm not saying you, but is there some unwritten rule that women get together, they congregate and come up with this trifling stuff?
So there have been so many different TV shows. I'm thinking more of the teeny bopper episodes like Beverly Hills 90210 when they'd plot to try to, get their boyfriends to do one thing or, try to trick them into dressing up for Halloween or whatever it might be. And yeah, they would sit around and they would, plan their revenge or plan on how they're going to make this event happen. And that's not okay either. I mean, no matter what age you are, if you truly love the person that you're with, there should not be any reason to test their love for you.
No.
If you want to know if they remember a certain date, just flip and come out and ask them, because if you can't ask them, hey, do you know the significance of Mother's Day? No, I don't mean, do they know to say something to their mothers, but that might be when two people met, for example. But if you cannot ask them the significance of a certain date or the significance of a certain food or whatever it might be, then maybe you don't love them as much as you say that you do.
Yeah, you and I have done that, but I've teased you about.
Oh yeah, we tease each other all the time.
Like, we heard a song on the radio and you're like, that would be a great song for a wedding. And I'm like, I always say that's a great song for a wedding. You'd be like, whose wedding? And I would just give you the look. One thing I read about, and apparently this happens a lot, is women will go out and find other women to hit on their significant others.
That's messed up.
To test them, to see if he'll stray or to see if he'll look or whatever. And I don't understand that. If you have something that you think is solid and you're in love with your man and you have a good marriage, why on earth would you test him to see if he's going to do it or not? Why would you invite that? What is it called? Borrowing trouble? Or inviting trouble? Or
you're inviting trouble.
Yeah, that's all high school. That's all high school crap. It's like high school level stuff, and I don't understand it.
Exactly. I mean, but it basically boils down to, if you and your loved one truly love each other, then all these little tests aren't necessary. Because if you're having to do all these sneaky little ways to find out, do you truly love me? Then maybe you need to look at your relationship and see, is there something amiss in our relationship? Is there something that I'm not getting? And if you truly feel like you're not getting something, then you need to sit down and actually talk to him or her
Partner.
and, tell them how you're feeling. Because if you can't do that, if you can't be honest, then maybe something's not working.
I don't know what to do at that point. Why would you take something that you think is good and purposely put trouble into it?
Because some people just need drama in their life and they don't know how to function without it.
And I don't understand that. I don't get it. It's not something I believe in. It's not something I would ever do. And if you're at the point where you have to do that and invent problems, then you have an issue and you need help. You really do. So the upshot of this episode is there's no need for testing. There's no need for all these trifling little things. If you get along, great. If you don't get along, then move on.
Or see what needs to be fixed.
All right. That's.
I don't want people to think that we're encouraging them to break
up. Not just. All right, it didn't work out. You should absolutely try to work things through and get help if you need to. But staying together for the sake of staying together, or I can change him, or I can change her, or it's close enough to what I want, so and it's easier to stay. Yeah, then don't do that. We are not perfect. We never claim to be. As we said in all our episodes, this is something that we find what works for us, and we try to impart that knowledge and that wisdom on other people.
What is it that you always say? It's just our 2 cents. Your own mileage may vary.
Yep, just my 2 cents. Well, originally, and for my podcast, that's just my 2 cents. Your mileage may vary.
Oh, sorry, I kind of ad-libbed there.
Sorry.
Or I changed the wording. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening. We will be back. Promise. Till then, have a good night, afternoon, evening. See you later. Bye.
And I want to finish up. I would be remiss if I didn't wish anybody listening that served in the military tomorrow Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. And if you're like me, you give an awkward smile and an awkward nod and say you're welcome or something. So yeah, I get it. It's not easy to accept the thanks because that's not why we served. Just like no one served in the military just to be able to go to the exchange. So Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. We love each and every one of you. We hope you have a great week ahead. And as she said, we'll be back soon. We promise this time. Pinky swear and all those things. We love you and God bless.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.